Why, hello, y'all, and welcome to the channel. This is part 5 of playing through Myst. We are trying to get through the Selenitic age, but first we gotta get there. So the first thing we have to do is go up the tower. We left off. We had rotated the tower to the Selenitic age so we can get the information we needed to get through. And if you don't mind, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like and subscribe button. It'll help me out a ton. So the rocket ship is our destination, but the first thing we have to do is supply power to it. And that's where the 59 volts come from. Well, the Borderlands case is getting closer to being finished. All I gotta do now is make it look aged. The paint is finally dry enough to do it. And then I've got to put the logo on there, age it some more, seal it, and then it should be good to go. So should have that done within a week or two. If I can get a day off that I don't have to mow or anything, because it's South Texas and you got to mow pretty much once every 2 weeks in the summertime. Alright, so we just got to head out of this library, down the path, past the birdhouse, the little building on the right. That's where the generator is. So recently I got that 3D printer. My first actually major project with it was the Lord of the Rings clock that I made. Y'all should check it out. So the key to this is to hit the buttons and increase the voltage until you hit 59 without getting over. If you go over, you flip one of the relay towers and you have to go out and reset them. And of course, that is exactly what I do. So now I have to go out and reset them. And no matter what you do, no matter how many buttons you press, it's not going to get the voltage over there without resetting that relay. And you got to make sure you're under 59 when you do reset the relay, or it will not reset. So let's go get the relay. There are 2 towers. I had a 50-50 chance of being the right one, but this was the wrong one, so I have to go to the other tower and flip that one. And that sound lets you know that it's reset. So we'll go back in there, put it to 59, and that'll power up our rocket ship. Now that we're in the ship, there are two things in here. There are the controls in the front, and then there is a keyboard in the back. If you recall that you saw a page with notes on it on one of the books, that is the solution to this puzzle. You use that diagram and hit the keys in order, and that note goes in order on the switches on the console that controls it. Once you have all the notes set right, you hit the button, and then a book appears in the screen. You touch the screen, and you are traveled to the Selenitic age. And it helps if you can turn down the sensitivity in your mouse so that way you can manipulate the levers a lot easier. I did not have a choice since I was running through the emulation I was running through. So all you do is, like I said, match the sounds. But if you're tone deaf, the easiest way is to count how many keys over and then move the switch up that many times. Works the same. All right, welcome to the Selenitic age. All we're going to do now is explore, and we're going to turn on these transmitters that we need to turn on that send sound to a transceiver. So that's the first thing we have to do on this age. Those sounds, and when we find out what order we need, will allow us into this bunker here, which is the way out and back to Myst. Almost missed the path through the first sound. First sound is going to be water. Also take note that there is a page here. But push the red button and the symbol will light up. That means that it's transmitting. Alright, and this is the next sound, the volcanic sound. Do the same, hit the red switch, and then continue on. Now we do the same for the clock. And our next stop is the crystals. Make sure you hit the red button and take note that this is where the red page is. And last but not least, the wind. And then make sure you go through the tunnel, and this is where the transceiver is. Alright, so the goal on the transceiver is to align the dishes up with the sounds, so that way you get the right sequence of sounds to be able to open the lock. The controls are a little touchy because they'll go slow for a while and then they speed up incredibly fast, and it kind of messes with you. Alright, that lines up to the wind, and with the buttons, it only operates one dish and it'll only tuned to the one sound, so you can't mess it up. And that's the crystals. That's 2 down, 3 to go. That's the clock. 2 more to go. And that's the volcano, and the last one is the water. So now we have the correct order and the different sounds that we need to open that door. So now we go to that door, and this is probably going to be the most tedious part of the game, and that's the maze runner. It is kind of a pain. All right, before we jump into the cockpit of this little sucker, we need to backtrack real quick, grab a page, and then do this. And when you go to grab the other page, you're going to have to do this again. That's probably one of the worst parts of this game because it's kind of tedious. There's 14 steps to this maze. Alright, the controls are pretty basic on this thing. The arrows basically turn you left or right one notch. The right little dial shows you where you're facing, north, southwest, whatever. And the button repeats the sound, and forward, of course, goes forward, and backtrack will back you up to the last section you were in. At each intersection, it will play a sound. It's the same sounds as the mechanical age directions on the tower. That gives you the direction you need to go in the maze. If it plays two sounds, that means that it is a southeast, southwest, or northwest, northeast direction. Like I said, there are 14 steps to this maze, so I'm speeding it up. Basically, you go north, west, north, east, east, south, south, west, southwest, west, northwest, northeast, north, and then finally southeast, and then you make it to your destination. All right, get out of the little vehicle, hit the blue switch, go down the tunnel, and voila, you get to go to Myst. And then we got to repeat it and go grab the red page, and I will speed through that as well. All right, so the books are still missing one more page, they tell you, and they tell you that it's in a safe and not to touch the green book. That's going to be in the fireplace. But first, we got to go get the other page and listen to him, and he rants about his brother betraying him. But they're both bad.
I warn you, he's a liar. Do not be persuaded by his evil lies. Not release him. He killed my father. He will kill you. Began when my brother Cirrus began to lust for riches. He stole from the ages of Myst. He hoarded riches for himself. My father slipped away his watchfulness. My sick brother secretly pronounced himself king. King of the ages of Myst, he said. He began to look upon me in disgust. His lowly brother hated him. And then Cirrus began to destroy the ages of Myst. He burned their forest. He tore down their structures. He flooded their lands. He murdered their inhabitants. Completely destroyed all but 4 of the ages. Of course, I had to warn Father. When I finally found him, there was Cirrus also talking clever.
All right, so we're going to zoom through and get the other page real quick and see what the other brother has to say, and then we can solve the fireplace. All right, and this is the more manipulative brother, so he's going to spin a yarn about his father betraying him. Don't believe him. He's full of shit, just like his other brother. They were both manipulating the ages, and you'll find out in just a second
You finally returned. I owe you a debt
who
of
trapped them
gratitude
where they
for
were
you have
trapped.
nearly released me. My name is Sirius. I trust that from your explorations you've become convinced that my wicked brother Achenar is guilty, and I am innocent. It is I who am wrongly imprisoned here. Imprisoned by my father. I don't know who you are, or how you came to this island, but I assume you must at least know something of the books. It was father who was a master of the books. He wrote hundreds, all describing and linking to the fantastic places and ages which he had discovered. The room in which you now stand was our father's library. It was here in this room, on this island named Myst, that he housed most of these books. But such a waste. By now, you have surely discovered that Achenar has burnt and mutilated most of these books. Why? Our father was always watchful of our exploration. We grew up under his strict supervision. But when we came of age, he gave us unbridled access to the Myst books. He began to leave our adventures more and
So to find the solution, you basically go to the book that's on the far right in the middle of the shelf on the library. The brothers tell you that it's pattern 158. That's what they believe it is. And that's what you look up. And that's the pattern you use to gain access to the green book. And that pattern gives us access to the green book and the last two pages. We do not want to take the last two pages to the brothers. If you do, the story does end, but it has a bad ending. We want to click on the green book and listen to Homeboy. And it's cut short on my video. He actually asked for you to grab a page because he's trapped in where he's at because of the brothers. And the torn page in half actually gives you that clue on how to get the last white page.
Who the devil are you? Don't come here to Dunny. Not yet. Um, oh, I have many questions for you, my friend. As you no doubt have for me. Um, where should I begin? Oh, perhaps my story is in order. My name is Atris. I fear you've met my sons, Cirrus and Achenar, in the red and blue books on Myst Island. In my library. My library. Oh, it contains my works, my writings.
And that is where the cat laid on the mouse, so I cut off the cutscene. But we're going to go grab the white page. All we got to do is run down to the dock, hit the marker switch, and it'll open up, and that's where the white page is, and we'll finish the game. All right, now that we have the white page, we just give it back to him. He'll put it in his book. He'll be able to escape back into Myst, and he's going to take care of his sons. Don't move when he does, so that way it doesn't mess it up. And he'll be gone for about 20 seconds. If you move, you miss the cutscene.
Ah, my friend. You've returned. And the page? Did you bring the page? Ah, give it to me. Give me the page. Please, give me the page. You've done the right thing. I have a difficult choice to make. My sons have betrayed me. I know what I must do. I shall return shortly. have many questions for you, my friend, but my writing cannot wait. I fear that my long delay may have already had a catastrophic impact on the world in which my wife, Catherine, is now being held hostage. Oh, and reward, I'm sorry, but all I have to offer you is the library on the island of Myst, the books that are contained there. Feel free to explore at your leisure. I hope you find your explorations satisfying. You will no longer have my sons to deal with. Oh, and one more favor. I am fighting a foe much greater than my sons could even imagine. At some point in the future, I may find it necessary to request your assistance. Until that point, feel free to enjoy the explorations from my library on Myst. Thank you again.
And that's pretty much the end of the game. We are going to go back to Myst, and you'll see that the red and blue books are destroyed, and his sons are forever trapped. And the next game was Riven, which is where you meet the hidden foe that he's fighting that's even more dangerous than his sons. And thank you all for watching. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help me a ton. And good night.